Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred and more likely than not that you are the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Andrea French. Afternoon, Ms. French, what's your date of birth?
8/15/77.
All right. Andrea, the charge this afternoon is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you think you can afford to hire a private lawyer or not?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. State any history.
Yes, Your Honor, it looks like it's all in 1999. There was resisting officer without violence, a withhold on that. There was also a withhold on a disorderly conduct and PCI for battery.
Okay. Andrea, I have an address for you on Ilami Way in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Since 2011.
All right. And Jack lives there as well?
Yes, sir.
Are you working these days?
Yes, he and I own a business together.
What kind of business?
Home renovations.
Okay. Andrea, I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that while this charge is pending, you'll have no contact with Jack. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact him through any social media. You don't have a third person contact him. Don't go where he lives, don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you today up until 4 p.m. so that if you wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. I'm going to have you back in court on the 27th of March. As far as your home goes, as long as Jack stays there, you'll have to find somewhere else to stay until we get this case resolved. You can go by one time to collect some clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need, wherever you plan to stay. To do that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'll meet you back there with a deputy who will stand by while you collect your things and get going where you're going. Now, I can see already that there, there are minor children and that the two of you run a business together. Obviously, that's going to make having no contact extraordinarily difficult for the two of you. But I want to stress to you that that is the situation until some judge, and in your case that judge is me, says otherwise. So unless I restore the contact, you can't have any contact. Are we clear about that? Yes? Okay. All right. March 27th, when you get out, make sure you contact the public defender right away, okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I see my children?
If you can arrange to see your children without having third-party contact with Mr. French, the answer is yes, but the onus is on you. I don't have any objection with you seeing your kids, but it has to happen without you having contact with him, okay? Okay, thank you. Lisa Henley? Afternoon, Lisa, what's your date of birth?
3/29/76.
Lisa, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, please.
Appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'll send you back to see Judge Toner on the 29th of March. Public defender will come see you before you go to court again, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Michael Ackley? Afternoon, Michael. Michael, what's your date of birth?
4990.
Okay. Michael, I've got two charges today. They're both, one's burglary of a conveyance. They're both burglary of a conveyance. There's probable cause for those two charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
All right. Looks like you get the PD on your other cases as well. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you been in jail, Michael?
Since the 15th or 16th.
Okay.
2 weeks. 2.5.
All right. And state what's his history like?
He has an FTA for possession of controlled substance without a prescription last month.
Yeah, he's got a couple of things. He's got a couple of things open, but these two relate back in time, so I don't think he's an RCO. But yeah, these relate back to the 31st of December.
So that's the only other thing I see is FTA on the possession of controlled and out of county warrant from Pasco.
Okay. All right. So Michael, I'll appoint the PD. I'll set the bond on each of these at $2,000, and then we'll move them both to the 13th of March. That looks like where your other cases are, so all your cases will wind up together, okay?
Yes, sir. So what's my new bond? Am I able to take all the charges?
Well, on the two that we have today, it's a total of $4,000. I don't know anything about your other cases, okay, other than that they exist. So this is $4,000 on these two new ones, and I moved them both to March 13th, okay?
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Jordan Albert. Jordan, what's your date of birth?
6/1981.
Jordan, you're here on two charges, false imprisonment and felony domestic battery by strangulation. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD, state.
Yes, Your Honor. There is a history of domestic violence against the same victim. Most recently, there were arrests in April and December in a violation of pretrial release in those. There are concerns for the safety of the victim. There's also possession of paraphernalia in 2012, a drop domestic in 2018. That was that April arrest. Possession of cannabis in 2012. Looks like there were some petty thefts, criminal mischief in 2012. Also domestic violence in 2012. Violation of pretrial conditions for domestic violence in 2012, so that's been multiple times. The domestic violence battery in 2012, for which there was an adjudication, a withhold on a burglary in 2007. Domestic violence battery also in 2007. So if there is bond, we would ask that he have electronic monitoring.
Okay. And Jordan, I have an address for you on Gray Court in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
I don't have a home now.
Okay. Is that where you were living yesterday?
Yeah.
How long had you lived there?
6 years.
You have a job these days?
No.
How long has it been since you've worked?
About a year.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to set the bond at $25,000 on each count. That's a total of $50,000. Condition of the bond is that you'll have no contact with Brandy. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yeah.
And you understood that?
Yes.
Also would have to hold you at least until 4 p.m. this afternoon, so if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction, we'd know where to find you. If you are able to post the bond, I will order that you're subject to GPS monitoring at your expense. I'll have you back in court on March 29th. If you're able to get out, you should contact the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail before you go to court, okay?
Sure.
Thank you. Joshua Brita. Afternoon, Joshua. What's your date of birth?
12596.
Joshua, this is a probable cause arrest for violation of probation. There is probable cause for the VOP. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I got a question before I answer that. If that's fine with you.
Sure.
I don't know how I broke the terms of my contact order because it was based on my son, and my son was there.
Okay.
My baby mama came in the probation office to tell me that my son was acting crazy in the car.
Okay. So I see. So you and I both agree that we know exactly why you got violated, because the probation officer says that you violated the contact order by speaking to this person who you're not supposed to speak to. Whether or not you've actually violated your probation, of course, is not up to me. That'll be up to the judge that you go see. I'm just telling you that there's probable cause, which is a very low standard, to find that may have happened. So you can tell me that you'd like me to appoint you a lawyer so you have somebody to advocate for you in front of the judge who will actually be hearing your case. So would you like the public defender?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll appoint the PD. Bond, of course, is no bond. You'll be back in court on the 29th of March. Public defender is going to come see you before you go to court, okay? George Burrows. Afternoon, Mr. Burrows. What's your date of birth?
August 3rd, 1940.
Mr. Burrows, you're here on a violation of a domestic violence injunction. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
PD.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
This is all I have, Your Honor.
And, sir, I have an address for you on Forest Villa Circle in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
4 months.
You have a job these days?
No, I get Social Security.
I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Doreen Martin. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes.
Did you understand that?
Yes.
Very good. I'll have you back in court on the 27th of March. Very important that you contact the public defender if you get out, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. John Diaz. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
05/30/1993.
Charge is violation of an injunction. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD, State.
In 2014, there was an arrest for a trespass. I don't see the disposition. There was also a null cross for grand theft of a dwelling on that same date. A withhold on a battery in 2014, and that's all I see.
All right. Is there family on this one?
There is.
Did any of you folks wish to say anything? You're just here to see what
I couldn't hear a word she said.
She said you had a fairly limited criminal history, okay?
Okay. Like the past? I get that. Go on.
You don't have to, but it's up to you.
No, go on. Oh, I can't tell. I don't know who he's talking to.
Just be quiet!
He's not here. He's not here. I'm supposed to know.
Do you want to speak?
I just wanted to explain what happened, but I don't know if that helps.
Well, come on. Are you Miss Ralph?
No.
Who are you?
His sister.
Your sister?
Yeah. I just wanted to speak on her. His case looks really bad because of her. I just want to explain that he hasn't hit her and stuff like that. They argue, and she's tired of him because he wants to do better with his life. She doesn't let him do anything. His music, he wants to do music, stuff like that. And he realized that he wanted to do that, and she gets mad every time he hangs out with me because we do music and stuff like that. And so she threatens him all different things. And I just want to say that, yeah, his case looks bad in this case, but everything she's saying is about, like, she's saying that he didn't do nothing to her, nothing. They argue.
Okay, you understand why he's here today. He's
I
here
do
today
know, yeah,
because there was an injunction issued, okay? And I had nothing to do with that.
Okay. That's why I said I don't
And then-
know if me speaking even helps. I just want to
I don't know, but I want you guys to know, and I want him to hear it because I want him to understand.
Yeah.
Because he said some things yesterday along the lines of that he didn't believe any judge had the right to do this, and that he didn't intend to follow the injunction, and that's the kind of stuff that will get him in jail without bond. Okay, so whatever got him to this point, he needs to have the people in his life making sure that he understands that now the injunction exists. You have to deal with it.
Yeah, which was happened was a text message that he sent. I know it's still against the thing, which I was just gonna say that from here on in, obviously, if he gets a chance
he's gonna have to, and I'm gonna talk about them in a minute. So
yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm gonna set him a bond. So have a seat.
All right, thank you.
Back to this. All right. Mr. Diaz, I have an address for you on Hawkins Avenue in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
I need to speak first.
You need to answer my question or you're not getting a bond. Is that where you live?
I don't know where I live currently.
Is that where you lived yesterday?
I had 2 homes yesterday.
Okay. Do you know anybody that you can stay with, like your sister?
Yes, my sister.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No.
I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Marcella. Did you hear me explain no contact?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand with every fiber of your being that judges have the right to tell you not to have contact with another human being?
Yes, sir.
And do you further understand that if you have contact with Marcella again, and any judge finds out about it, you will be in jail without bond?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll have you back in court on the 27th of March. If you get out, you should contact the public defender right away.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please stop talking.
Nathaniel McBride. Afternoon, Nathaniel. What's your date of birth?
1988.
All right, Nathaniel, this morning I have, this afternoon, 2 counts of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
PD.
I'll point to PD. State what can you tell me?
It looks like in 2012, There's an aggravated assault with a weapon and an armed burglary, which resulted in a DOC sentence.
Yeah, he's on conditional release for that, and we're going to get to that in a minute.
Also, possession of marijuana with intent to sell. Another burglary for which there was a DOC sentence in 2008. Looks like there were multiple counts of burglary in 2008, possession of marijuana in 2008, an FTA in 2008. Some petty thefts that were dismissed in Pinellas in 2005, burglary of dwelling in 2005, where he was found mentally unable to stand trial at some point. A lot of violation of probations between 2003 and 2005. There was a withhold on a trespass in 2003.
Okay.
And a withhold on a disorderly in 2003.
All right. And are you, Heather?
Yes, sir.
You want to speak? Come on up. Get you raise your right hand for me, Heather. Solemnly swear firm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Heather, what is it you'd like to tell me?
I would like to have peaceful contact with him,
Okay.
and if he can get out on bond.
Okay. Well, you understand he was on pretrial release from prison or conditional release. And Nathaniel, you understand that too. You're on conditional release, and I'm going to set bonds on the new criminal charges here, but you're basically on a Department of Corrections hold on that conditional release violation. And that'll be up to the folks at the DOC, however they figure that out, to decide what's going to happen to that, if you're going back to prison or what. That has nothing to do with me or any of the judges here. That has to do with the folks at DOC. You understand that, Nathaniel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but and Heather, how long have you known Nathaniel?
A year.
Okay,
And he doesn't do any of the stuff that in his past anymore.
okay. And you're concerned? Are you concerned at all that it'll hurt you or harm you?
No, I would actually like him to come back to the house with me and the kids.
Okay. And Zaria, is
Zaria.
she a child between the two of you?
No, sir.
Okay, she's
He's
your
a
child.
stepdad.
Okay.
He's a stepdad.
And how old is your child?
Zariah's 7 and my son's 10. And they look at him as a dad and they miss him.
Okay. All right. And Nathaniel, were you working?
Yes, sir.
What were you doing?
Taking care of animals.
The
What?
SPCA.
SPCA.
SPCA. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Nathaniel, on this case, I'll set your bond at $1,000 on each count. That's a total of $2,000. Allow you to have peaceful contact with Heather and her children. It's always a crime to touch any of them any way they do not want to be touched. It could be a violation of your conditions of pretrial release if you so much as raise your voice. These cases will be back on the 27th of March. Like I said, you're not getting out today. She's not getting out because of that conditional release violation. And I unfortunately can't provide much information with what's going to happen there. If he has a parole officer or something like that, you'll have to contact that person and they can give you more information.
I did, and she won't.
She won't talk to you because you're not.
She won't give me any information.
Yeah.
She just said it has to go in front of the
board. I think there's a board that hears those things.
Yeah, and I don't know who it is. I have to talk to them.
Yeah, well, they'll keep him informed, obviously, about what's going on and whatever his right to counsel is. I don't know, but that's not an issue for us here. That's another separate issue. All right.
And I'm allowed to have visitations with somebody.
Yes, because I've ordered peaceful contact. You can go see him at the jail now.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, Nathaniel.
I got one question.
Sure, go ahead.
Can I call her?
Yes.
I have.
They blocked me.
I understand because you came in with no contact. I just ordered peaceful contact, so you guys will be okay now. All right.
And I have money
All right.
on the account.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. James Sword. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
September 9th, 1969.
All right, James, you're here on a probable cause arrest for violation of probation. There's probable cause. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on those is going to be no bond. I'll have you back in court on the 29th of March. PD will come see you before that, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Brendan Scarborough. Afternoon, Mr. Scarborough. What's your date of birth?
10/22/86.
All right, Brendan, that's two charges today, retail theft and resisting a law enforcement officer without violence. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'll just say PD for now, but probably get private counsel.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Yes, there was a violation of probation in 2018. Also disorderly conduct in 2018. No process and exposure in 2018. FTA, 2017. Probation violation in 2015. 2011, there's attempts to obtain controlled substances by fraud, and it looked like those charges were out of Pasco and Hillsborough. So there were multiples. Conspiracy to traffic in illegal drugs in 2012. Trafficking 2012. Heroin trafficking 2012, for which there was a DOC sentence. I think they're all probably together.
All right. And Brendan, have you been staying someplace in particular lately or living outdoors? What's the deal?
I told you my address. 2507 Line Street.
Tell me the address, but how long have you been there?
I've lived there forever, so it's always been my address.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I work on appliances and stuff. Not anything I can claim on taxes, but.
Okay. Leave your bonds per the schedule, which is $500 on the theft and $1,000 on the resisting. That's a total of $1,500. You'll be back in court on March 27th. When you get out, make sure you contact the public defender. All right?
Yep.